Welcome everybody back to the Flying Dog House. We are at first flight. We're going to have a look at a Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 aircraft in 2024. So we're going to take a look at Flysimware's Cessna 414W. It was one of my favorites in MSFS 2020. So we are going to get it fired up and have a fly from first flight over to Northeast Regional in North Carolina. So let's go ahead and get going. Jump in the plane. Okay, in the plane we are. So just very briefly, a lot of stuff going on here in the cockpit. I remember when I bought it, it's like, oh my goodness, look at all this stuff. Well, the good news is that it's actually pretty straightforward. So to that end, we can go ahead and get ourselves situated here. So I have hardware controls I'm going to use for mixture and for prop and for throttle. So I'll go ahead and get those in their appropriate positions for start. One of the things I'll point out is that the fuel controls are in the floorboard. Let's get those fuel selectors turned on. There we go. Left and right set appropriately. Let's just double check them now. Yep. They are good. Okay, so before we delve into getting the aircraft started up, let's have a look at the tablet. And I do have the tooltips turned on just for video purposes here. Here we go with the tablet. Got our view situated here. And I'm also using the mouse for head movements here, just for consistency of experience. All right, so let's go ahead and cut the tablet on. Very, very straightforward. So there are 5 menu choices down here at the bottom. The configurations basically is aircraft setup, right? Do you want to see all the ground fun stuff? You can open doors. There's maintenance to be done. There are locks for the yoke and for the rudder that you can show and remove, depending on what level of immersion you're after. There's also a weather, easy for me to say, weather menu here for showing that at the moment. All right, so we are in calm conditions here in Kitty Hawk. Okay, so payload, lots of choice here. I'm not going to go through all the options. You can have passengers in the cockpit if you so choose. I choose to keep them turned off. That's really up to you. I'll let you explore that on your own. Some stat displays here about the configuration of fuel. And then last but certainly not least is the pre-flight inspection and then the checklist. So this was one of the first airplanes that I can think of in Flight Sim 2020 that actually had walk around and inspection stuff that you could go do. So, and again, I'm not going to belabor the point here with that. You know, we've become accustomed to that in 2024 with some of the functionality that Microsoft and Asobo have included in the 2024 release. But this airplane, I believe, had it first. At any rate, the lower section in this particular menu in the tablet also has checklist. So pre-flight, post-flight, different phases of flight, all of them have checklists that you can review as you were doing your startup procedure. So depending on what level of immersion you're after, you certainly have a robust checklist to be able to follow. So there you go. It's quite good. All right, let's go ahead and cut the tablet off, and then we can stow it by clicking on the top. All right, so we got that part out of the way. So all of the breakers work. They're located here. I believe there's some on the co-pilot side as well on the door. Yep. Cowl flaps here in the central console pedestal area. Here and here. Rest of this is remarkably straightforward. Autopilot, the autopilot master is located here at the bottom of the pedestal. So if you choose to use that, really like the fact that the manifold and the RPM gauges here are right in the middle of the eyebrow. So really like that layout. Also has a Bendix radar that works. So there's that. We're not going to turn that on the ground because you don't turn that on the ground. Hide the yoke here. Okay, so let's go ahead. And I'm not going to follow the prescribed checklist. I'm just going to get the necessaries out of the way and we'll get the aircraft started. And then I'll switch over to the end of the runway and then we'll have our departure. All right, so we'll cut all the magnetos on. Put the fuel pumps on. Put the generators and the battery on. Avionics is coming on. We'll let that do its thing for a minute. Cockpit sounds and noises are good. Always nice to have that as part of the experience. The Garmin is coming to life here. Go ahead and get our annunciator panel test out of the way. Okay, that's good. And we'll let the GPS get synced in. Okay, so just to review the basic stuff here. So I do have throttle cracked. I've got propeller and mixture in appropriate positions. And then I also have fuel tanks appropriately set up and ready to go. All right, we'll swing our head around here. Clear prop, clear prop. And let's go ahead and press and hold the starter switch. And we got a good start here. RPM coming up. Give this a minute. About 15 on manifold pressure and RPM. Back down for a moment for purposes of starting our right engine. So press and hold. And looks like we've got a good start now. That engine as well. Let that come up. Okay, despite the all of the stuff that's going on in the cockpit, and there's a lot of functionality baked in here too, right? So maybe we'll come back and do a deeper dive of some of the things that this particular airplane offers. As I mentioned, it's a lot of fun. It flies very nicely, or at least it did in 2020. We're going to find out what it's like in 24. All right, so that looks good. Okay, we are sitting at the end of the runway. Runway 3. And we are ready for our departure. Let's jump outside the plane. All right. We'll engines up here. Parking brake coming off, tow brakes off. And we are off. And we'll climb out here and then we will come off the RPM. A little bit of altitude here. Get ourselves about 13 or 1400 feet, and then we'll make our turn. There's some cell phone towers and power lines to our 9 o'clock. All right. Make our way across. It'll be a quick trip. Jump back outside the plane. Very nice looking bird. Nice hot summer day here in the Carolinas. And cut on our autopilot master. We can just enjoy the flight here for a few minutes. Radar, I did mention that the Bendix radar does come on and works. It's got selectable range here. And it's a beautiful clear day. So have fun exploring that. And then we have altitude hold engaged. Yep, so it's very, very straightforward. Use your heading bud. Get your heading dialed in. Make sure that you cut the autopilot master on the lower pedestal. And then use your mode selectors. And you are golden. Alright, let's jump outside. Take in some of this scenery here. As we make our way. So I did update my NVIDIA drivers yesterday, which caused me all sorts of heartache and problem. So I have reverted back. Things seem to be back to flyable. And I have a new PC on order and shipped, and I am looking forward to that arriving and giving 2024 a run for its money with a 5080 GPU. And I am planning on keeping 2020 installed as well, so at any rate, I'd definitely be interested in hearing from you around what you have been experiencing the last 3 or 4 weeks with 2024, or if you're continuing to do the majority of your flying in 2020. Jinx this, but it's running pretty doggone well right now. Yesterday I was having quite a few crash to desktops after I upgraded and plugged the NVIDIA driver. So I reverted back and cleared my cache, and we're giving this a go. So this is take 3. Full transparency. Excuse me. I'm going to take in a little bit of the scenery here and then we'll make our turn. I said this is a short flight. So this will be Elizabeth City here. And we're getting ready to come over the top of, what is this one? Fletcher's. It's 1NC3. And we'll just continue to our, we'll make a turn to the southwest. this current course and heading will take us right over to the feathers at northeast, so we should be good to go. Alright, so upcoming videos, I do need to get going again on the instrument landing stuff that I have been working on, so that'll be in the docket. And I thought we would do this GA first look here in 2024 with this aircraft, even though it's payware. There's been a lot of activity right now over on Flightsim.to. There's some stuff going on, but I haven't noticed any new aircraft releases. And not much in the way of updates to report, but we'll do a pilot's lounge next week. We'll take a peek and see if there's anything over there worthy of note. It just looks great. Love this plane. And there's a military airfield over here off to our 10 o'clock. Yeah. Staying away from that. And our altitude is just fine for the trip, so come off of autopilot here in just a few minutes and make our way for our approach. And winds 241 at 10 at our destination. Currently a very cool 90 degrees. I'm joking. Barometric pressure 30.01 inches of mercury, or 1,016 hectopascals. chopping air. Should have backed those off. But it's okay. Go ahead and cut our radar off. As you can see, the weather is quite clear. All right, there we go. Back to off. The autopilot master off. So we've got the aircraft again. So Angry Betty will gripe at us if we drop our RPM without dropping our gear. We'll go ahead and start slowing up here. And we'll get ourselves back to neutral on our trim. There we go. All right. We do need to drop some altitude here. So there's a few more minutes here with this heading, and then we can turn to the long final. Gear coming down. Flaps 2. Just a quick check, make sure everything is nice and the airplane's not lying to me. All right. Looking good for our runway picture here. Jump outside. Watch ourselves come in here. Drone camera footage. And if I remember correctly, this airfield has a very long threshold. We should be good with flaps 2. Good peppy lights. A little slow there for a second, a little high. Bring her down nice and easy. A hair long, but that's okay. We are down. Welcome to Northeast Regional. All right, so is it seaworthy? Absolutely. It is one of my faves in the sim. It flew nicely here in 2024. No disappointment with that. Looks good, flies good, so it must be good. Let me know what you think. All right. With that, I'm going to leave it here. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. We'll be doing other content similar to this. And we'll continue to work on our tutorial series that we have just started as well. So help folks along with getting familiar with 2024 and the sim in general. All right, I hope everybody is keeping well. And until next time, cheers, y'all.